This is the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mosen.
Happy Friday, folks. It's great to be back here again, and it's always wonderful having you here with me, Sharon Skittle. How are you today?
Good, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just think that it's so important to have you on air. I really believe in health and wellness. I have to say something. I had a phone call months ago from one of our listeners, and he said to me, he goes, I don't get it. Why do you have like shows with people who are with fitness backgrounds? I have Sarah Werner, who's my trainer. You've also been my yoga and cycle instructor. And I think that health and wellness go hand in hand with finances as well as your mental health. And what are some of the statistics you and I were chatting about with Americans today?
That today I think it's over 30% of Americans are on some type of antidepressant. Mm-hmm. And while exercise won't cure everyone, probably half those people could find relief from a regular exercise program.
Right. So the statistics also prove that 1 in 5 Americans is dealing with a mental health issue. That's almost 19 to 20 million. And so it's very important to share that because it actually made me think a lot. I'm a really private person, but I know I'm out in the public eye, and I think it's fair for people to know a little bit about me because, the radio is like 1% of my life. This is not me at all and who I am. But the reason I do promote and support people who are in fitness is because they do create this opportunity to help people who do have mental health issues. And my family's had a history of it. And, my uncle, my grandmother, and when my grandfather passed away, he actually willed his property and his money towards a clinic. So I think that it's really important for people to understand how much it impacts everyday life for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hate that there's such a stigma attached to it because I too have someone in my family who is bipolar, and they're very embarrassed by it and they don't like to discuss it. And it's something that is very much like diabetes. It's a serotonin level in the brain that doesn't get or isn't level. And so people that have this kind of depression, when it is not, environment oriented, do need medicine. So exercise won't always cure that, but it helps it tremendously and it makes it so much more manageable. And people, when they start a regular exercise program, they begin to feel a lifting of that sadness, and it changes their life and it makes it so much easier to cope. And when you commit to an exercise program and even a better sleep pattern, sleep is equally important. Most Americans do not get the 8 hours of sleep that they need. And when you're tired, you crave sugar, you crave carbohydrates. And so everything, it's like a vicious circle. When you do one right thing, 3 other right things follow. When you do one wrong thing, 3 other wrong things follow. So, start with just trying to have a set bedtime and a set wake-up time. And then commit to a workout program. And raising your heart rate is the best mood elevator there is. And finding a program that you love, and there's so many different forms of exercise. Getting outside and going for a walk is exercise. Hopping on a treadmill if it's cold outside. Riding a bike. Dancing. Dancing is a great mood elevator. Put the music on, clean your house. It's just, there's so many ways that you can get your body moving. Our bodies were meant to move. And when we don't move our energy, and it creates that depression.
It does. And I think that, it's important to talk about these things because of the fact that people make assumptions and, these are things that are part of daily life. People face them just like other challenges. People face addictions. They face different situations, be it, maybe overspending. I just think that, to just pay attention and know that, we all get affected in many ways, and there are ways to alleviate some of these issues. And I never really talked about this, but it just is so very important because it is important to be healthy, because at the end of the day, you can have all the money in the world and we can talk about finances, but if you don't have your health or well-being, and if there are issues in the household, there are ways to fix it. There are solutions. And exercise has been proven to help many people who have bipolar, who have schizophrenia. The Mayo Clinic has done studies on it. I have a lot of friends who are physicians and doctors who are specialized in the field. And I highly recommend folks to ask the question and share with Sharon Skittle if she, can be of service or help, because she is very helpful. The number here, 1-800-662-9550. And you have a studio. You have a cycle and yoga studio. I do endorse both you and Brittany. You both are absolutely wonderful and have done great things and have helped the community. What's the website?
www.uecpgh.com is the website, and the email is uecpgh@gmail.com. And yeah, we really promote our classes as a mind-body connection class. Like, everything that we teach involves the mental aspect as well as the physical aspect, because they do go hand in hand. And we talked about mindfulness before, and again, it's trending for this new year. And there was just an interview yesterday with the Seattle Seahawks coach, and they asked him what his secret was, and he said mindfulness. And a lot of people expected defense or offense, and his answer was mindfulness, because when you do something mindfully, you're fully engaged. And when you're fully engaged, if you're engaged in your exercise, you recruit more muscles. If you're engaged in whatever activity you're doing, you do it to the best of your ability. And even there was an article, something as simple as folding clothes when you do it mindfully is such a stress reducer. To sit there and just fold towels and do it with intention will relieve some of that stress, and it creates just a sense of peace just from being present in the activity that you're doing. And that's so important with your exercise. I tell people, if you sit down on a leg extension machine and kick it out 10 times without thinking about it, you're going to get some benefits. But if you do it a little bit slower and concentrate on what you're doing, you truly recruit 30% more muscle fiber than you would if you just did it mindlessly.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And I think that here's the thing. For me, what I love about life is to reach your goals. I'm a doer. I'm not trying to promote myself, but I'd rather be active and do stuff than talk. And it's easier and more fun because I've been very blessed. I've, had some really great friendships and relationships where it is about getting things accomplished. It is about laughter. It is about making sure that people feel good after they're done with you and not feel miserable, and to create some room to be of service. It doesn't mean that you have to spend $1 million. It could just be a smile, and that's really important. And that's when people I've been in fitness for years, and people who work out actually do tend to be a little bit on a high because of the endorphins.
Absolutely. My intention with every single person that walks into a class that I teach is that they leave standing in their own greatness, that they find something in themselves that shows them how strong they are, how capable they are, and how healthy they feel when they leave. And that's what happens. They're the benefits of exercise. And it's really hard to feel sadness or depression when you've just pushed yourself to the very edge, raised your endorphin levels, and feel that you have that spent feeling. But it does create, the runner's high. You can get that off of any form of exercise when you completely challenge your body to the very maximum point and succeed. And, I tell people all the time in my classes, the only place you want to fail is right here in this gym. You want to work your body to failure. That's where all the good stuff happens. And that is how we change both our minds and our bodies. And one of my cues in my classes constantly, if you don't try, how will you know? And it's true. If you don't try, how will you ever know?
Right. And so that's why I say to folks, invest in your health, work out, be involved, whatever it is, whether it's walking, whether you're doing a Zumba class, whether you're going to Sharon's studio or even chatting with her on advice. It's important for you to be active because, we have 1 in 5 Americans who is going through mental health issues, and to be a little sensitive and be aware of that as well, because it is very challenging for family members who are going through it. For yourself that this is something that is a very big hidden topic. People don't like talking about it. It's like there's shame behind it, and there shouldn't be.
There's no reason for that. It's a disease just like any other disease, and it can be treated, and you have to take responsibility for it. And I tell that to my family member that I'm here for you and I want to support you, but you're equally responsible, and so you need to get to the gym. You need to do what you need to do to make this as manageable as possible. And the first step in making it manageable is to get on a regular exercise program.
Mm-hmm. So again, as I've said, it's always great having you here. And certainly you can reach out to her. You can call 1-800-662-9550. You have a terrific website. It's www.uecpgh.com.
Yes.
And then Valentine's is Saturday. Any words of wisdom?
Eat chocolate.
Have fun, eat chocolate.
Yes, balance. Everything in balance. Key is moderation.
Right. And we'll have you back again soon.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
All right. Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.